Hello, my beautiful students. Yeah, I'm sick. So is my wife. So is my son. But thank God our cat is not sick. Okay, so today we're going to be moving a little bit forward in our unit on poverty. If you remember, you analyzed, I believe, 8 political cartoons. I think about half of them were conservative leaning and the other were liberal leaning. And so now you have 8 different takes on what are the causes of poverty and what are possible solutions for poverty. Now we're going to go into a little bit more expanded text from Huey P. Long back in the 1930s and look at his take on what are the causes of poverty and what are the possible, or what is the possible solution for poverty. And if you guys know who AOC is, you'll definitely hear stuff, or you'll definitely read stuff from Huey Long that connects directly with AOC. And if you don't know who AOC is, why don't you pause this video and see if anybody in the room can tell you who she is. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Okay, so welcome back, and let's get into it. So go ahead and log into Google Classroom and go to the next assignment, which is, what is it? Every man a king. It's 1930s. They say man instead of people, okay? So, and open that up, and we're going to have you work on a worksheet digitally, and we're going to be doing an I do, where I basically do it for you. Normally, I would have you help, but hey, I'm at home, and this is a recording. And then you're going to do a we do where your team does it, and then you check it with mine. Then your team's going to do one more, and then you're going to do one on your own. When I say one means a chunk. Okay, so you're going to be doing a chunk. Some of the chunks are just one paragraph, and some of the chunks are 2 paragraphs. So just be aware of that, so you don't get confused that there are 6 paragraphs, not just 4. Okay. So without further ado, substitute, would you please pause this video while they open up their Google Classroom and open up Every Man a King. Pause. The very first thing to do is let's take a look at our standard for today. Our standard is reading informational text 9 to 10.2. Analyze how an author develops a central idea over the course of the text. So basically looking at the beginning, middle, and end part of a text and seeing how the central idea becomes more convincing. Okay, moving on. Our objective for today, I will be able to analyze how Huey P. Long builds his argument for the need to redistribute wealth in the United States. Okay, substitute, you may want to pause right now and have them explain in their own words to each other in their teams, what does that objective mean? And then maybe hear from them and see if they are on track. So pausing now, please. Okay, welcome back. And let's see the essential question for today. How does Huey P. Long build his argument? And that's what we're doing. All right, next thing we're going to do is our first read. As you read, think about this question. What is Huey P. Long's argument? And this does not need to be a quote because he may not actually have a thesis in here. Okay? Hint, hint, clue, clue. All right, so go ahead and read the text. You have paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 with a 6 at the end, okay? Pretty short text. Please read silently. And then once you're done reading silently, please type your answer in right here of what you think Huey P. Long's argument is. Okay, substitute, please pause this test and have them read silently and type in their answer as you walk around, substitute. If you see at least over half of the students have typed an answer, what they think it is. And by the way, students, you don't have to be right. You just have to try, okay? So, and then once they substitute, once they have over half, or you can always just ask facilitators to check and if their team has over half. Then you can move forward. So go ahead and pause my this video now and have them read silently. Thank you. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Hopefully you have now, and most of you have an answer here. That's doing your job. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to do an I do where I analyze this first 2 paragraphs, look at the definitions, type in some definitions, and then I analyze, again, what is Huey P. Long's argument that I think it is. I'm going to paraphrase this sentence. We propose to limit the wealth of big men in the country. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to answer who is Long criticizing and how does he criticize them? Okay, so let's zoom in on the actual text. And I'm going to go ahead and read it out loud. Now, we have organized as a, oh, by the way, this was, I think this was a speech he delivered in Congress in the 1930s. So, all right, here we go. Now we have organized a society, and we call it Share Our Wealth Society. A society with the motto, every man a king. Every man a king. So there would be no such thing as a man or woman who did not have the necessities of life, who would not be dependent upon the whims and caprices and the ipse dixit of the financial martyrs for a living. What do we propose by this society? We propose to limit the wealth of big men in the country. There is an average of 15,000, that's today's 324,960, in wealth to every family in America. That is right here today. Okay. So let's take a look at what are we looking. We're going to define whims and caprices. We're going to define financial martyrs. Give a definition. What do you think there he's implying? And then give examples. And then we're going to answer these analysis questions. And boom, guess what? I already did it. Okay, so here we go. Let me zoom in a little bit more. You shouldn't be able to see the ones down there. Okay, there we go. Okay, whims and caprices mean sudden moods and desires. So when I come down here, sudden, as in not a long-standing mood, but all of a sudden you get in the mood, so you do something, okay? And if we look at it in the text, every man a king, so there would be no such thing as a man or woman who did not have the necessities of life, who would not be dependent upon the whims and the caprices, in other words, the moods of, and you're going to find out who financial martyrs are, okay? Financial martyrs, by definition, are someone who gives their money to help somebody else. A martyr, by the way, is somebody who kills himself for a cause, but here it's used a little bit differently. So just somebody who gives their money to help somebody else. That's nice. What is Long implying, though? They're implying that a financial martyr is someone who pretends to be a saint. What are some examples of these people? Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, the mafia. I mean, think about it, right? Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, they have more money than like most of the world population has money. Yeah, they're insane money. And then, they give their money based on their own whim. That's what this is saying. Or based on their own mood. What mood are they in today? Okay? Or the mafia, when you think about the mafia, when they give you money, actually they're thinking you owe them now. So they're not just giving it of their own good graces. Okay? Yeah, so let's move forward. And now we understand a little bit of what's going on here from the standpoint every man a king. There would be no such, sorry, every man a king is no such thing as a man who did not have the necessities of life, who did not be dependent on the whims, in other words, moods, of these people who are pretending to be saints for a living. What what did I see as Huey P. Long's argument? First read. And once again, if you got this wrong, that's okay because now you get to reflect on what's right and where your thinking was when you wrote what you wrote. And if you got something even better than mine, great, fantastic. But you know what? If you're right or wrong, that's both good. That's good. As a matter of fact, sometimes we learn a heck of a lot more when we make a mistake than when we get it right. Okay? So, his argument is the excess fortunes of the rich can be used to assist people who are poor. Okay? Excess fortunes means those rich people don't need that at all. So, what the heck are they doing keeping it? Okay? Can be used to assist people who are poor. All right, that's his basic argument. Let's go to now paraphrasing this sentence. Okay? Sentence says, we propose to limit the wealth of big men in the country. Well, when we look at this sentence here, we can just come back up to what we just saw as his argument. And remembering that he says that they have organized a society, a share of the wealth society where everyone has a king. So, what are they proposing? Long society wants America to stop rich people from having too much money. How do we see that? We propose to limit the wealth of big men. Big men meaning rich people. Well, back then they were just thinking men in the country, in America. All right, moving on. Who is Long criticizing? Okay, who's he saying is wrong? And how does he criticize them? Okay, so I come over here. We already know they're saying whims and caprices. In other words, saying, hey, they just do this based on whatever mood they're in that day. Or they do things, if you look down at the bottom of this, it says the definition of ipse dixit. And basically, they just do things because they can, because they said so. Okay, and calling them financial martyrs, implying that they pretend to be a saint when they're not really saints. Otherwise, why would they be holding all that money? So, according to Long. Okay? So, who is he criticizing? By calling them, who are they? Wealthy people, financial martyrs, and saying that they exercise whims, caprices, and ipse dixit. Long is criticizing those who have control over and are able to accumulate great wealth. Okay? So he's criticizing people who just have too much money, like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and the mafia. Okay, so this was an I do, a little bit fast I do. You may want to substitute. Please pause now for them to write this down, or add to what they have already written, especially for number 1. And then maybe have a quick discussion on what am I talking about here, because I'm talking pretty fast. So now's the time to slow it down and maybe substitute. If you're up for it, please go ahead and explain in a much slower and a much slower style, or please have our facilitators of each group explain each of my answers so that all people can partake of the understanding of these answers. So go ahead and pause for the amount of time you think you need, substitute, or maybe just ask the facilitators how much time they need to explain my answers. And we'll see you soon. Talk to you soon. Okay, welcome back. Hello, hello. Let's go to paragraph 3, and no, it's just paragraph 3. Okay? We're now into the we do, as in your team is going to answer all these questions. And then you're going to compare your answers to my answers. But I'm going to read it for you. So here we go. Let's get it up there. And here we go. We do not propose to divide it up equally. Ooh, there's an it. Remember, anytime you got to get an it, you better define it, better figure out what it means. So let's start again. We do not propose to divide it up equally. We do not propose a division of wealth, but we propose to limit poverty that we will allow to be inflicted upon any man's family. We will not say we are going to try to guarantee any equality or $15,000 to families. No. But we do say that 1/3 of the average is low enough for one family to hold. That there should be a guarantee of family wealth of around $5,000, which today is $108,000, people. Enough for a home and an automobile, a radio, and ordinary conveniences, and the opportunity to educate their children. A fair share, that was a semicolon there, a fair share of the income of this land, therefore, to that family, so there will be no such thing as merely the select to have those things. And so, there will be no such thing as a family living in poverty and distress. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so now, facilitators, it's time. Please define what you think inflicted upon means. Please define what you think a guarantee of family wealth means. And define what you think the select means by definition. What do you think long is implying? And what are examples of the select? Okay? Then finally, as a team, you're doing all this as a team, facilitators. Go ahead and go with question number 4. What is Long's plan not asking for? What is Long's plan actually asking for? And how does paragraph 3 refine Long's plan? Refine it. That means you have to look at how it was displayed in 1 and 2, since it's refining it in number 3. Okay, substitute, please pause this video. Ask the facilitators how much time they need for their team to come up with these answers together. And then go ahead and give them that time and then come on back to this video. And pause now. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's come on. Welcome back. I hope you have most of these questions answered so you can compare your thoughts and your analysis to my thoughts and my analysis. And here we go. Boom. Okay, go ahead, facilitator, if you, substitute, if you would. Pause this video now and let them read this on their own, by themselves. Maybe give them 5 minutes to read it all and compare what they have. And then they can start actually recording down any answers that differ, any of my answers that differ from theirs. Go ahead and write that down. So pause this for 5 minutes, substitute, thank you. And we'll talk to you in 5, 3, 2, 1. I'm back. Okay, that was 5 minutes. And let's take a look at a few things. Inflicted upon, okay? Inflicted upon means painfully forced on or painfully forced to do. So, it's right here. We do not propose a division of wealth, but we propose to limit poverty that we will allow on, who's we? The government. The government. But you know what? Before we do that, let's come on back up here. What does it mean again? We do not propose to divide money up equally or wealth up equally. That's what it means. Okay? Now let's move down. We do not propose a division of wealth, but we propose to limit poverty that will be allowed to be inflicted on any man's family. So I know they're saying the society, but they're really saying the government. They're proposing to limit poverty so that the government of what the government will allow painfully on each person's family, because that's what inflicted means. Okay. Next up, guarantee of wealth. It's nowadays called universal basic income. Yay. Some cities actually do this. Check out Clovis when you get a chance. No, not Clovis. Shoot, what is that? What's that? Oh, well, you know what? Just check out District 9 in Los Angeles. They've implemented a universal basic income. It's a program. It's a pilot program that they're doing right now. Okay? I can't remember that. What is it? Stockton's doing it. Stockton did it. Universal basic income. Where every family gets, whoa, that is not spelled correctly. Let's get in here now. Here we go. Gets a regular cash payment from the government. Okay? And what is that cash payment going to be? Come down here. Should be a family with around $5,000, which was about $15,000. That was the average for all families back then, and they want to guarantee $5,000, which today's would be about $108,000, more than most teachers make. Hey, okay, just saying it, just being there. All right, and then let's go to the select. Who's he saying by the select? Okay, so we come down here and saying, a fair share of income of this land, therefore, to a family. So all families, if they're working or not, should get a fair share of the income. So there would be no such thing as merely the select to have those things. Who are the select? The select means the few people chosen. What does it imply? The upper class or classes. Okay? And what is upper class nowadays in Los Angeles? It's a family of 3. That means mom, dad, and one other person, or mom and 2 children, okay, making over $200,000 a year. That's what it is. That's what it is. Okay, so they're saying that it shouldn't just be the people who are wealthy that can afford things, like an automobile, a home, a radio, educating their children, okay, etc. Okay, moving over to question number 4. What is Long's plan not asking for? Long is not asking for everyone to have the same amount of money. How do we know that? It's right over here. It says, do not propose to divide the money up equally. So we're not going to have everyone having equal amount of money. All right, moving over. What is Long's plan actually asking for? Oh, bless you. Oh, bless you. That's my wife sneezing. Oh, there she goes again. That's 3. That's 3. Okay. What is Long's plan asking for? Long is asking for all families to be guaranteed at least $5,000 a year. Not 15, 5, which is a third of 15. From the government, even if they do not work. Okay? Even if they do not work. Oh, bless you again. Wow, my wife's really having a sneeze attack. That's because all 3 of us are sick. Okay. And let's move forward. Number 6. How does paragraph 3, this is paragraph 3, right here. How does it refine Long's plan? So, based on what he said earlier. Paragraph 3 refines Long's plan with very specific information regarding the average income, which is $15,000. Whoops, right there. Back then, and the amount of money needed to eliminate poverty and distress, which is $5,000. Okay? And once again, that would be $108,000 a year. Just saying, teachers would be happy if they got that. Okay. And that's it. And so moving forward, we might want to pause now. So once again, substitute, if you would pause this and ask facilitators how much time they need to explain what I just said in a slower beat, so to speak. In other words, I'm speaking quickly, and not everyone can understand me speaking quickly, especially when we have to listen to my wife sneezes, and get interrupted. Just joking. We all have to sneeze when we're sick. Okay, so pause that and ask the facilitators how much time, and maybe substitute. You can ask if anybody would like you to explain this in a nice slow fashion, a more gradual fashion. It's not really slow. It's just I'm speaking fast. Okay, and pause now. See you then. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Now it's time for teams to do paragraph 4 on their own. What does carry out mean? What does necessary mean in this sentence? What does carry out mean in this sentence? Obviously, it doesn't mean carry out chicken, okay? And then paraphrase, we have to limit fortunes. And then number 7, what reason does Long propose for reducing the limits of fortunes from $500 million to $10 million or $15 million? Interesting. And what information supports the idea that Long's plan are not finalized? You'll be doing this on your own. Hopefully you'll come to a great understanding. Substitute, please ask facilitators how much time they want for their team to come up with all these answers. And then finally, when they're done with that, on their own, each person will be doing this. If you don't have time at the end of this class, they'll be doing this as homework, but they'll be doing this by themselves, silently, with no one's help, paragraph 5 and 6. And that's it for me. Good luck, and hopefully I'll see you soon. I'm sure I'm not going to die from this thing that's happening here because I don't feel like dying yet. And we'll talk to you then. All right. That's Coach out. Have a great weekend.